Alright, in this lesson we're going to go ahead and look at how to write an inequality for Algebra 1. So let's look at the first thing. The first definition on the left hand side, notice we have a question there and it says, what is an inequality? And when we're talking about an inequality symbol says that two values are not equal. And the next question says, what are the 5 types of inequality symbols we will deal with? Well, the 5 most used algebraic inequality symbols are less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and not equal. So those are the primary symbols that we use. And the first 4 are the ones we're going to be using the most. And you always read them from left to right. That's how we know this is less than, because it points, the small pointy end points to the left. So just like reading a book or reading words, you read it from left to right. So this is less than. This has an open on the left side, so it's greater than, and so on. Now, the main point of this topic today is to be able to write inequality. So notice over here it says, how do I write an inequality representing the current situation? Well, I have 3 steps for you that you're going to follow that are going to make this really simple. So what we're going to do first is we're going to box all numbers, variables, and equations and underline keywords. It says the cost for a large cheese pizza at Pizza Palace is $10. The cost for a large pizza at Luigi's Pizzeria is $8. Mr. H purchased pizzas for his class from both stores and wanted to buy at least $162 worth of pizza. Write an inequality to model the situation when X is Pizza Palace and Y is Luigi's Pizzeria. Now, if you notice, I did use 2 different color pens because for myself it helps me break up the 2 different companies and break up the 2 different variables. So, but you can do it all in one color if you like, but I think it helps if you use different colors. But notice we boxed all our numbers, we underlined keywords, and we boxed variables. So now that we've done that, we're going to move to step 2. Step 2 is we have to assign X and Y with its description and values. Now in this one, it actually told us what X was and what Y was. Sometimes in these inequalities it won't tell us what it is and we have to choose which is which. But let's go ahead and write down what we know. What we know here is that X, for instance, is going to be Pizza Palace. And notice I did that one in black pen. So if X is Pizza Palace, and we know that Pizza Palace charges $10, so we can say X is Pizza Palace. And they charge $10 per pizza. Now we know Y is Luigi's Pizzeria. So I'm going to put OK, so that's Luigi's Pizzeria. And they charge $8 per pizza. Now that we've gotten this information written down, we can go ahead and write the inequality. Now notice here it said write an inequality to model the situation when X is Pizza Palace and Y is Luigi's Pizza. The last bit of information that we hadn't talked about is up here it says that it needs to be at least $162. So okay, so I'm going to write the word at least. And then it's $162. Now when we say at least, we got to be thinking, what does at least mean? What word could represent at least? So if it's at least, then that means it could be equal to, but it also means that it has to be that amount or more. Because at least means it either, say for instance, if I said, I need you to spend at least $5, well you would spend either $5 or more. So when we say at least, what it really means is greater than or equal to. So I'm going to say that equals a greater than or equal to sign. Now, with that being said, we're going to use all this information now so that we can go ahead and write this equation. So we're going to start with our X, our Pizza Palace. So what we have is we have $10 times X, right? Because X is equal to Pizza Palace, and they're $10 each. So $10 times X, which is the number of pizzas we buy at Pizza Palace, plus $8, which is the cost of the pizzas at Luigi's Pizzeria, times Y, because at each pizza we buy at Luigi's Pizzeria, that's going to change the number for Y. So 8 times Y is equal to, or not equal to, is greater than or equal to $162. Now, if we want to spend at least $162, we could spend more than $162, but we need to spend at least $162. So it can actually, over here, when we buy our pizzas, right, and we multiply this out, it needs to be at least equal to 162 or more than 162. And that is our inequality. That's all we had to do. We're not solving anything. We're simply just writing it. So what I would like for you to do, I would like for you to look at this example, and I want you to go ahead and go to this next one here, and I want you to try to do this one on your own. Now, pause the video, do it on your own, see what you come up with, and then play the video and see, did you get the same thing that I got? Alright, we're going to go ahead and start this next problem now. Let's see if you got it right. It says, how do I write an inequality representing the current situation? Okay, well, we're going to follow step 1. We're going to box all numbers, variables, and equations and underline keywords. So this said, Literature Lagoon Book Club charges an annual fee of $25. Abundant Reader Book Club charges an annual fee of $18. Kendrick sold a combination of subscriptions. Okay, so he sold a combination, so that means he sold both types of subscriptions, totaling just a little less than $300. When Literature Lagoon Book Club is represented by X and Abundant Reader is represented by Y, write an inequality modeling this situation. Okay, well, we've done step 1. So now what we want to do is move to step 2, where we assign X and assign Y with its description and values. So let's go ahead and look at X before we go any further. Okay, so for my X, it says X is represented as Lagoon Book Club. So Literature Lagoon. So I'm going to say, okay, so we're going to write Literature Lagoon. And those subscriptions cost $25 each. And then our Y, it said was Abundant Reader. So I'm going to write here Abundant Reader. And their subscriptions, they charge an annual fee of $18. And we know that we want to spend less than, we'll see what that symbol is, $300. Now this one made it really easy, right? They did put the word little in there, but when they say less than, it means we can never be equal to $300. We have to be less than. And there's only one way to say that, and it's with a less than symbol. So we went ahead and we wrote down everything that we know, and now we're ready to write the inequality. So what we would write here, Literature Lagoon is going to be X, and $25 is what it cost for that subscription. So we'd have 25X plus our Abundant Reader, which is our Y. So that'd be $18 times Y, the number of subscriptions for Abundant Reader. And this all has to be less than $300. Now I hope you got that right. This is all there is to it. If you follow these 3 steps, I guarantee you're going to be able to get these right 99% of the time.